without further ado, let's give a big round of applause. And let me be the first to say, congratulations, you're winning the Oklahoma Great Journalist Hall of Fame. I love you.
Okay, so he gets to sit down, so let me tell you what I'm doing. It was probably at least 10 years ago that there was a news story, and we all have stories that have really bothered us. Well, for me, the story was Ryan Luke. Ryan Luke was a 2-year-old boy from McAllister who died from child abuse. That story, for some reason, just stayed with me. And it may have stayed with me because my daughter was born in 1994. Ryan died in 1995. So I started volunteering at the Turley Correctional Center for several years. And one of the things that I wanted to do, I just went there to encourage parents to write letters to their children, because I saw firsthand how much it would mean to a child if they had a letter from their parent. I saw a 10-year-old child who was pregnant by the mother's boyfriend, and the mother was in denial. I saw children in the hallways because they were disrupting class because mom had spent the night in the emergency room because a boyfriend had beaten her up. These stories bothered me. And so I went to Turley just to help parents make the connection with their children. So in Turley, I tried unsuccessfully to make a Ryan Luke quilt. I was using the wrong fabric, didn't know what I was doing, didn't really know how to sew. I mean, all of those things. So fast forward to this summer, I was teaching inmates in Taft, the Eddie Warrior and the Just Done Correctional Center. And I just had this conversation with God. I said, what is it that you want me to do? What haven't I done? What do I need to do? And he reminded me, you need to finish that Ryan Luke quilt. You need to finish that quilt. So I got busy, found someone to do the quilt, and this quilt touches me because there was a bill in the state of Oklahoma that was passed unanimously to help change the way Oklahoma looks and handles child abuse cases. It's because of Ryan Luke, the outrage. And it really, I don't care that I'm in seminary, but it really pissed me off. It pissed me off that political connections helped contribute to this boy's death. So, this quilt is in memory of Ryan Luke. This quilt is in memory of the other 34 children. There's one name that didn't fit. I'm doing something special with that name. But I can tell you some of the things that have happened to these children. One of them, the child was 7 years old. The mother was trying to exorcise a demon out of the child, and the child drowned. Another child was baby Christina. She was a newborn, born alive in Muskogee. She had bite marks on her, and she was just tossed on the side of the road. There was one child there, Terry Brown, in Stevens County. They couldn't even tell me that she died. But I know she died because of research. These stories of these children are very impactful because one of the things that I do is I go to speak to different prison groups, anyone who will listen, and I have them read the names and what happened to each of the children. And I tell you what, they start crying. God hears the cries of the oppressed. Who is listening? Who is listening? And it's no coincidence that this quilt was on my heart to do. Ryan's birthday is December 28th. This quilt will debut in McAllister on his birthday. It's no coincidence that this quilt is happening now when there have been 3 child deaths. I did a quilt dedication at our church on Wednesday, and I asked someone to come from the Parent-Child Center. Nothing against them. But they couldn't make it, and I said, okay, God, you want me to do it, so I did it. I did the dedication by myself. But one of the stories that they told me was that they have problems getting into schools to talk about child abuse because schools don't want to deal with it. Excuse me? That pisses me off. It pisses me off. Children have died, and they continue to die because we do nothing. We say nothing. When will we respond? Many of the children who have died, I want them to know that their life had meaning and purpose, and that's what this quilt is about. Many of the people who are incarcerated were abused themselves as children. So a second purpose of the quilt is for inmates to have a better relationship with their children and to write letters to them. So on the back of the quilt, I want you to take a look. I think there are 2 moms on here who have given their children away for adoption. They've never even seen the child. Fathers, mothers have written letters to their children. So this quilt is going to travel around the state of Oklahoma, going where it's wanted. I'm not taking them any place that they're not wanted. I hope to get them in the state capitol. It's going to be at a quilt show in Oklahoma City, January 7th through the 9th. It's going to be at Langston University in February. It's going to be in McAllister on December 28th, Ryan's birthday. This is part of my calling, my mission. I'm doing a lot of other things. This is one part of my assignment. So, I'm not retired. I am just moved to a different area.